What do you think is the biggest difference, maybe in your style, compared to the fighter that trained alongside Jon in New Mexico?
It's really hard to say. I think I just, for the most part, just enjoy the fight a little bit more than I did before. Uh, you know, under Jackson and stuff like that, I felt like there was a part of me that just kind of slipped away from enjoying the process of the whole fight and everything that has to do with it. So, being at my new camp with my new training partners, learning new things, helped me to just get the flame back underneath me again.
But clearly this fight has added dimensions for you as well, does it not?
I don't think I've ever said that I value the belt, but I definitely value being considered the best. And being considered the best is my passion. It's what I'm fighting for. It's what my life is about. And so having Rashad Evans as an opponent, it has nothing to do with wanting to be great and wanting to be the best. I'll have the same feeling in my next fight that I have right now. It's truly not personal with me. There's a lot of things that have been said that was personal, but when it comes to the actual game, it's still a game that we play, and it's another game. The pre-fight hype and all that has nothing to do with the game. So.
How about you? The backdrop to this fight, all the media obligations, having to rehash your relationship and friendship with Jon. Did that help you in your preparation?
Yeah, it did. It did to an extent. Like Jon was saying, with the training, how every coach tried to give it to you. So that part was a bit tough, and also just talking about everything over and over again. I got sick of talking about Jon. I got to the point where I was just like, man, I'll do anything to not think about the fight. So Jon sat and watched film over and over again. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna just get away from everything for a second and just find my focus and just enjoy myself and just enjoy life, because when it comes down to it, I like to find balance outside of fighting. Fighting is something I do for fun, but when I do it to the point where I have no escapes, then it becomes a job to me. Then it becomes something I don't want to do. I got to really want to fight. I got to really want to do this. So I will get away and find ways to escape it just so I can come back fresh and come back more excited. Yeah, I just kind of, honestly, I had a year to kind of deal with the situation, and I've made my peace in a lot of ways with the situation. So I'm not really that emotionally invested into it anymore. I know I had to tell the story over and over again, and every single time I tell the story, I was like, oh my God, he's whining. But they're asking me the question.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? If they didn't ask me, then I wouldn't even say anything about it. But for the most part, yeah, Greg says what he says, Wink says what he says. It's whatever. Somewhere in the middle lies the truth, and the truth is somewhere out there, and it doesn't really matter, I guess.
It's funny because I think the more you hear the story and the more we all go at it and talk about the coaches and try to figure out who's telling the truth and what side is the most legit, it's almost therapeutic for everybody, So I think this fight will be like the last counseling session for the whole situation.
Until the rematch in 2 years, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah, like Jon was saying, we talked about this to death. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, when you talk about something over and over again, it kind of loses a little bit of the emotion behind it, and you kind of can just, make peace with a lot of things. So, we've been going back and forth. We've been saying this, saying that, and it's just been a long process, and we both are just tired.
Yeah, I would have to agree. The steam has been taken off for the most part at my end. It's time to play the game. And as far as the friendship afterwards, who knows what God wants for us in the future. I was watching an Ali documentary, when we were kings, and it was just so cool to see these guys who fought each other, who hated each other so much back in their careers, how they were able to talk about the fight and laugh and say, oh yeah, you got me with that one, yeah, and that was a good one. You hit me hard, man, So who knows what God wants for us? But right now, we're competing.